Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the $1 Billion Grind. As a matter of fact, to the final stretch of the $1 Billion Grind. Hope everyone's having a good holiday season. I know I am. Had a great Christmas, had a great time with the family. Definitely had a great weekend, although, oh man, I think I definitely ate too much. So if my face is looking a little fatter here than it has been in the past, well, yeah, it always happens around the holidays. We'll straighten it out in January, though. In the meantime, we are getting to the very end of this thing. We're basically at, let's just say, 985 million. So we're in like the final 15 million of this thing. And I've got CEO crate warehouses getting close to needing to be sold again. So, you know, if I sell 5 warehouses, that's 1.5 million each. There's 7.5 million of it right there. So the last 15 million is pretty much already half accounted for. The other 7.5 million, come on. I mean, 1.5 million per Cayo. If I did that just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that would be another 4.5 million, taking us down to like 3 million. And then probably about 1 million at least worth of nightclub sales each of those days too would take care of the rest of it, plus safes, plus any other grinding. So I'm actually in a position now where I can't really hit the billion tonight because I don't have 15 million worth of stuff to do tonight, and I don't want to stream for like 8 hours. But definitely need to like temper it and slow it down a little bit and take it easy on the grind this week so that I can hit the billion on Friday stream, and that will be stream number 60 also. So it's actually a good round number to end it on, and we'll hit that billion, and then we can move on from there. So for tonight, just going to take it easy. We're going to do a Cayo. May as well. We don't have many of these left, so we should knock out a Cayo or two since it's been such a huge part of this thing along the way. I actually missed the window for starting Cayo up, so it's not even going to be a hard mode one, but you know, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Like I said, we're easily in range of that billion for Friday, so we don't need to make too much money too quickly at this point, at least through the rest of this. So I think I'm going to do one of the MC business things here, or MC clubhouse motorcycle delivery things. It's kind of like the auto one, basically. You modify it for the customer and then deliver it. The only difference between this and the auto shop is, for the auto shop, you can have your mechanics deliver it for you. In this one, you have to deliver it yourself, which is fine. That's fine. Harbor Blue is nasty looking. Do turbo brakes. Ooh, slightly better brakes. And engine tune's kind of weak there. Twin exhausts. Painted frame. Not really a lot of updates on this one. Sport tank. Not a lot of like upgrades available to this particular motorcycle, I'm saying. Quarter mile king. Confirm 10 grand, and then assuming I don't wreck it, we'll sell it for 60. So it's like a 50,000 profit, pretty quick, pretty easy. And oh, cool. And we don't have to go to Paleto Bay with it either, which is unfortunately something that happens a lot with these. Oops, I missed my turn. But you know, the GPS is seldom correct, so there's always a million different ways to go anywhere in this thing. All the streets connect eventually. So I'm just going to take this down through and hope I don't collide with anything. I probably shouldn't be going this fast on the ice and snow because it's going to be hard to avoid sometimes. Well, we'll take a chance here. See if I can bomb my way down this road without wrecking. It's not really the road or even like the stationary obstacles that I'm that worried about. It's the NPC cars, which, well, y'all know what they do. We'll see what this guy does. Oof. Here we go. I gotta make this turn. Well, that was relatively uneventful. Not bad, not bad. see if we should get full price. I think it was. I wasn't paying attention to the number at the bottom right. It should be. Yeah, there we go. Full price. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and jump into the Kasatka and see about getting things going here. Let's see, Kasatka. There it is. And like I said, this will not be a hard mode Cayo because I missed the cooldown. Unfortunately, I had walked away, and I want to say I fell asleep. And after I woke up, I realized the 2 hours and 24 minutes had long since passed. So, okay, my Kasatka is doing the bouncy thing. Well, we'll see in a minute. Yorick. Hey, Mock. Just wanted to pop in, say an early congrats for that mighty 1 billion. Get it faster than me. Hope you're doing well and have a good stream. Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it, man. And finally be a billionaire. Just something I've wanted to be in this game for years, actually. I just never had the fortitude to sit down and grind it out like I did this year. That was part of the reason I did it on stream, was it makes me a little more accountable, because I'm sitting here doing this stream, calling it the $1 billion grind, telling everyone I'm going to do it. I'd look pretty silly if I didn't, if I didn't finish it off. So 25,000, and yeah, it's not going to be hard mode. It's going to be easy mode. All right, that's fine. Let's gather intel and jump to Lago Zancudo. So one thing that has changed, and of course it's not going to affect me that much because the super intensive grinding is coming to an end for me. But for people who are still grinding and looking to hit the big numbers themselves, this DLC really nerfed something that was very useful. So in the weeks leading up to the Drug Wars DLC, I had shown you guys that basically the grind that I had come up with in between Cayos, and I tooled around with it a little bit. I made a lot of different, I tried a lot of different ways of doing it. And what I found was that, once you hit that 2 hour, 24 minute cooldown after you finish a Cayo, if you're going to play through that cooldown, then the best way to earn in that time is to think of it like in 48-minute increments. And of course, 48 minutes is how long it takes between CEO crate warehouse agents going and getting crates for you. So my little cycle was I would go ahead and do the crate agents, and then I would do the ammunition sale, and then I would do the mixed goods sale, and then I would do a payphone hit. And that would be like a quick 185. And then, while I was waiting for the next payphone hit, which is a 20-minute cooldown, I would go to my MC and I would run life and death bikes over and over again. And I could usually get two. I could always get two, and sometimes I could even get 3 life and death bikes in between my payphone hits. And so that was a good cycle to run, and then eventually you'll hit that 48-minute mark again, at which point it's time to go do, your warehouse agents, and then also again the ammunition sale and the mixed goods sale. And so I would just keep cycling that for the few hours. Now, I should also point out that in between that, if I had a bunker sale to do, bunker product, I would do that too. I might also do the car servicing out of the auto shop, although I would have the mechanics deliver those, and then I would also do the motorcycle delivery, but those were a little less frequent. Those didn't happen as much. But for the most part, that cycle of 48 minutes and then the payphone hits and life and death bikes was pretty much the main routine in between all that. And you could make a lot of money. I mean, you could pull out easily, $1.5 million in between your Cayos that way. Sometimes up to $2 million if you did it really well. Obviously, I also have nightclub sales to do, but that's like a once a day thing because I let that build up over the course of a day while I'm AFK. So anyways, that was the cycle. Well, what this DLC has done is it has removed the double money on VIP work and the MC contracts. So Life and Death Bikes does not pay $75 million anymore. Now it only pays like 30-some million. Well, that doesn't help too much for the grind. So had to kind of tool around again and figure out, you know, what is the new grind now to do, because it's not going to be Life and Death Bikes. Need to figure something else out to do in between your payphone hits. And what I've figured out is agency security missions seem to be the best way, because you can get some of those that pay like 60 grand, and most of them pay at least 40 some. So it's going to be better than VIP work, and it's going to be better than the MC club work, which is now, you know, down under 40 grand. Now there is another option you could think about. You could consider the what's it called, CEO vehicle export, because that can earn, you know, usually around like 70-some thousand. But I think that the agency contracts, security contracts, have a advantage over that, because you can usually get a couple of them done in between your payphone hits, and in general you will earn at least $100,000 doing that. And if you can get 3 of them done, and if they're all the high paying ones, why then you could walk away with like 180,000 in between your payphone hits of 85. So basically just replace Life and Death Bikes with agency contracts. Oh, and there's one other thing to address, because Life and Death Bikes you could just do over and over again by jumping sessions until it reappeared on your board again. There was no real cooldown for it. With the agency security contracts, there is like a 5-minute cooldown in between them, and I find the best thing to do between those is to just go knock out a VIP, like a headhunter or something. And it's only 20 grand, but that does turn that security contract time for that cycle, you know, into 20 grand more. So if it were a 60 grand security contract, now you're looking at like 80 before you start your next contract. Or if it was only 40, you're looking at 60. But either way, you end up better off than trying to cycle Life and Death Bikes at that point. That has lost its value because of the changes here. So anyways, it's all kind of a moot point for me, because I'm not going to be grinding this intensively once I break $1 billion. Actually, that's true, and it's not true. Like I said, I'm planning on going to about 1.2 billion, maybe about 1.2 billion. And when I have about 200 million past that billion mark, that's when I'm going to get really loose with the spending and start buying everything that I want to buy and stuff. I want to make sure that I can spend freely without worry, but still stay over that 1 billion mark. And so I guess I will be doing a little more grinding since, you know, after that, but not a lot. So I'm not really all that concerned about it. But for those people who are and looking to get your grind on, those are things to consider. And I'll probably put out a video outlining that pattern that I like to follow. I think it's been very useful for me. I think I've gotten to $1 billion pretty quickly, and I could have done it even quicker if I played more than I did over the last, 9 months that I've been doing this. So, I mean, you figure I went entire months without playing, November and April. So we would have been at this, we would have been done with this a couple months ago if I had played like really hard all the way through. All right, I'm not seeing any Coco, and I don't like that. But this is going to be kind of a weak Cayo anyway, probably. Easy mode with tequila is never that profitable. Also, I'm not sure, man, but there might have been some changes to modified vehicle spawns too. I'm not sure about that yet. It wasn't documented anywhere, I don't think, but I was earlier messing around and I was trying to spawn the modified, what's the car that I always get? I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but whatever. You used to see me do it all the time in the early days of the grind. It was part of my regular routine, just north of Tinsel Towers. I want to say the modified Sultan, but it's not a Sultan. It's I can't think of it now. But they sell for either like 14 or 17,000, depending on if you get like the yellow one or the blue one. And I was trying to spawn one of those Sentinel. That's what it is. I'm thinking Sultan. I'm like, that's not right. So the modified Sentinel. I was trying to spawn that earlier, and it was not spawning for me. And that's kind of weird, because that's one of those ones that always spawns very reliably. So I'm wondering if there's been a change to that as well. It's something that I don't do very often anymore, so I think this is the first time I've tried to do it since the new update. So I'm definitely going to check that out when I get back to free mode and see if maybe that was just a glitched out session, or if maybe that really is changed, which sucks if it is. I mean, that's one of those things that a lot of people like to do. Well, maybe not as much as they used to, but I like it. I think it's cool. So, all right, we got Cash and Brownie Mix here at the airport, which is sad. North Dock these days, because of the new guard awareness, I'm really only able to do 2 of the 3 lockups at the North Dock. The little one that used to be the easiest one is now the hardest one, just because of where it is in the pattern that the guards and stuff are running. You know, I just realized I forgot to turn my radar down to not being expanded. I'm going to do that right now. After I park my bike here. There we go. Let's change that setting real quick. I still wish they would make this easier to get to. I wish they would make it so you could just toggle it permanently one way or the other with the D-pad, instead of, you know, toggling it momentarily, temporarily. Just make the toggle permanent. That's all they got to do. Okay, we got Brownie Mix. Is that Cash over there, it looks like? Yeah, it's Cash. Sometimes it's hard to see. Glad I was finally able to catch another one of your streams. Oh, hey, Glover. Thanks for joining us, sir. I'm glad you could, too. I was just talking about how I'm not happy with the nerfing of the MC. You know what? There's a car there. I'm going to have to wait for that car to go by before I run over there and scope that out. Let him get out of here. That's part of the problem with, you know, I started scoping out the airport, which I didn't really used to do in the past, but just because of the way things are now, it makes more sense to do it. It throws off my timing with some of the stuff I normally do. Like I had to wait for this Jeep to get out of here. Normally I didn't even need to worry about it. All right. So yeah, I was expressing my dissatisfaction with Rockstar nerfing the MC contract work, because Life and Death Bikes was a huge part of my grind in between Cayo Pericos, and unfortunately it is now only worth like 37,000 instead of 75. I guess nerf isn't really the right term, because when it was paying 75, they openly stated that it's on double money, but it was on double money for so long. So so there is a Coco here, isn't there? That's a Coco. But see, this is the one lockup I can't get into now during the mission. Well, I can, but it's problematical because of the guards. So I'm just gonna ignore that Coco there. I won't be going after it during the actual heist. I'm just gonna do brownie mixes, I guess, and fill in with cash. I'll have to look and see what the layout is and see what the most efficient would be. This is not going to be a big money Cayo this time. We're on easy mode as it is, and I'm sure it's going to be tequila because, well, it's always tequila, isn't it? Anymore? They reduced the payout for the MC business. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what I was complaining about. And again, Life and Death Bikes was a huge part of my grind. I'm glad at least that I had it for so long. Now, again, maybe nerfing isn't the right term, because ever since the summer DLC, both the MC contract work and VIP work was on double money. And so you were getting 40 grand instead of 20 grand on the VIP. and you were getting 75 grand instead of 37 grand on the MC contracts. And so I guess they removed the double money is what they did. But man, I really depended on that. You know, another thing I'm going to complain about with this DLC is the ray tracing change. And yes, it does look cool, but my video in fidelity mode has gotten way choppier than it used to be. In fact, it's exhibiting a lot of weird little issues in certain areas of the map. The lights are flickering really bad, and if I turn off and go to performance mode, the flickering disappears immediately. So it is the ray tracing that's doing that. And a good example of a location where that happens, excuse me, is if you do nightclub popularity missions like Calling Tony. One of them is the drug dealer one. So you have to go kill 3 drug dealers, and then you go to their lockup, and you take care of the guys there, and then you plant 3 charges, leave, and blow it up. When you're down in the lockup, one of the things they did was they changed that room. They made the stairs so you couldn't see through them and shoot through them anymore, and they also lowered the wall down that comes down with the stairs so that you can't see under it. So you actually have to go further down the stairs to see the guys and shoot them. So they changed that room, but with the addition of ray tracing, that entire room is like flashing like a strobe, and it's not supposed to be. So definitely something wrong there. So what do we got here? 8 and 8 is 16 and 13. No, 4 and 4 is 8 and 17 is 25. Okay, so we'll double the 4. And these guys should take us to 25. There we go. I can do the maths. So I'm also not happy with that. I'm going to have to switch out of fidelity mode and get rid of the ray tracing. I wonder, I don't know if you can turn ray tracing off without losing fidelity mode. I don't know if that's a specific setting. I don't know. We'll see. The other thing that happened here is the courtyard security camera. Watch how long it takes to clear this static. Okay, and now it's going to make a liar out of me. It didn't take long at all, but it has been taking longer. Okay, ruby necklace. A little bit better than tequila. I'll take it. And I don't think I want to bother with the... oh, there's 2 of them. You know what? For 15 grand, it's kind of not worth it. I'm not going to bother with the buried treasures here. Let's just jump back to the Kasaka. Here we go. Oops. Bumped my mic stand there. So we shall see if we can get the office mission right off the bat. I'm not going to miss blowing up Merryweather helicopters either. Actually, you know what? That is probably one thing I'm probably going to do after the grind is over. Is I'll probably start exploring some other Cayo approaches. Because my Cayo approach is all about efficiency. You know, getting the money as the quickest you can, maximizing your value for time. But I've never really taken the time to explore all the different ways that you can do it. And there's actually quite a variety. Oh, you know what? I want to change my radar back. Whoops. Back to on. There we go. And I see I can change fidelity mode there too. We'll see in a moment. Oh, I gotta move my Kasaka forward too, closer to the beach. I don't like to be this far out from the beach. You know, I've been asked so much what I'm going to do when the $1 billion grind is over with. And, you know, it's funny. I think one of the biggest things I'm going to do is play some other games other than GTA. But, you know, unfortunately, there's not a lot of other games that I'm that interested in right now. I mentioned the other week for Black Friday, I bought the PS5. And hold on, I got a silly bugger here. You guys can't see because it's getting held, but I gotta ban this person. There we go. Ha! I don't understand how those bots even find me. But anyways, so I bought the PlayStation 5 around Black Friday, and I bought the edition that had God of War Ragnarok that came with it. And I've spent probably like an hour to an hour and a half playing God of War Ragnarok. I don't like it. I'm bored. It's a boring game to me. And it's not that it looks bad. It's not that the mechanics are bad. It's just that it feels like the same freaking thing. Like you're just endlessly running around from point to point, fighting with, you know, handheld weapons, and that's just simply all there is to it. There's not like a lot of, you know, variety to it. And I don't know, someone was saying because I never played the first one that, you know, I don't understand, you know, why this one is so good or whatever, and maybe that's true, but all I know is I've played this game for an hour and a half. I'm past like the first Thor battle, and I'm not impressed, man. I'm just not impressed. It looks great. It plays fine, but it's just a boring game. I mean, it's just, you're on a rail, you know, basically it's a story on rails going from mission to mission, if you will, or from enemy to enemy in the order that you have to go to it. And it's just the same fight every time, basically. And I think replacing a game like this is going to be really hard, because what makes this game great, you know, even 9 years later, is its complexity. I mean, there's so much to do in this game that you can play the game in a totally different style, you know, every day of the year and never play it the same way twice. I mean, there's just so many different things you can pursue. You can grind, you can grief. Okay, those are the overall playing styles. You could be cooperative. You could, you know, make your mission to help people who are looking for people to join their MC or CEO and help them run their missions. You could, you know, do racing events or, you know, adversary modes or death matches and stuff. It's just, there's so much to do in this game. That's why it's always interesting. And there's so many different mechanics to it too. I mean, all the different vehicles, flying vehicles, driving vehicles, water vehicles, weaponized vehicles, you know, fast vehicles, so everything. And so many different weapons. It's just endless. You know what I mean? And even this game is, with all of its diversity, is, you know, starting to feel a little stale, even after 9 years. But that's, I think most of the staleness in this game comes from the fact that we've been playing in the same map in the same world for 9 years now. Most of us know this map better than our own real world hometown. I know I do. I know the streets of this city more than any other city in real life. So, you know, I think that's where the staleness comes from this game, is just the longevity. But it's going to be really hard to replace this. It's going to have to be something that's equally complex with a lot of different things to do, and not just the same damn fight over and over and over, just a little bit harder. You know, with Thor, you had to figure out how to dodge a little better for, you know, at least I understand you fight him again later or something in this game, I guess, but I'm just talking about the first Thor fight because that's the only one I've done so far. Glover, that's the same bundle I bought, but I have to send it back because it won't accept CDs. I bought the digital edition. I actually didn't want an optical drive, because in my PS4 that I had, I never once bought a game on disc. I always bought it digital. So I really wanted the digital edition of PS5, so that is what I got. But are you saying you got the digital edition, or are you saying that the drive can't read like audio CDs? I'm not sure. What's the reason it won't accept CDs? Is it a format, or just because the device itself doesn't have a drive? For me, that was intentional. Let's get the approach vehicle here. Long fin. But most of all for me, like I'm saying though, is I need oh, the drive won't take the games. Okay. Oof. Well, too bad it wasn't like a year and a half ago. You could scalp the thing for like twice the price. But I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you. I think it's awful what happened this generation of consoles with the availability. I think it's ridiculous what went on with that. Now the good news is this cuts both ways. Good news in the sense that if you didn't get a console yet, it's not that big of a deal. There really haven't been any must-have titles for this generation yet. But I guess if you got it right away, you're one of the lucky ones, that's actually bad news. So it depends on where you're at with it, I guess. So where's my Phantom Wedge? Here he is. Gotcha. Disc version, but it's not reading CDs. Ugh. Well, that is annoying. That is very annoying. So we're going to take out these guys over here. But yeah, when I think back on the games that I've really liked the most over the years, one of the things they've always had in common was, a certain level of complexity. And when it comes to like action, games with a lot of action and stuff in it like this one, this is easily one of the most complex of those games ever. I guess another example, and I don't expect anyone watching this to know this game, but there was an MMORPG called Regnum Online. I guess actually it's called Champions of Regnum nowadays. And it was popular back around like 2010, so like about 12 years ago, a couple years before this game. And it looks a lot like Warcraft. If you look at it, it looks a lot like World of Warcraft, WoW, or whatever you want to call it. But the complexity of it lies in the realm wars that take place. There's 3 different realms in that game, and you can go to war with the other realms. So it's like realm versus realm versus realm. And just a quick summary. Each realm has its own safe spot behind like a great wall with a gate. And then there's a war zone, which is accessible by everybody, all 3 realms, a common area in the middle of the map. And it's a huge map, by the way. It's not small either. It's easily the size of this map, if not bigger. And basically, you can do invasions, which is really cool. If you go take control of certain forts out in the war zone, and you can hold them for a long enough period of time, then the Great Wall and the gate of the other realm whose forts you're holding become vulnerable, and then you can go invade their realm. You can attack their gate and actually get into their realm. And then the idea is to steal their gems. And if you unite all the gems from the other 2 realms with yours, why then you have basically won the game in a sense. I won't get into all the details, but there's benefits to your realm for doing that. And successful invasions take a lot of teamwork and a lot of interactivity. It's a really cool game. And so my point is, it's a high-action game, but it's incredibly complex, and there's a lot to it. The problem I have with God of War Ragnarok is that it's just too simple. There's just nothing. It's the same thing over and over and over again. It doesn't feel like there's any variety to it over time. So anyways, oops, I need to get out of here. There we go. And then the same goes for all the other games that over the years that I've enjoyed. I really like EVE Online. Now, EVE Online doesn't have a learning curve, man. It has a learning cliff. And if you've never played it, and if you have a PC that can run it, I strongly advise you to download it and just try it. And and it's completely normal to be absolutely confused as hell when you first start playing that game, because it's just like, okay, what are you supposed to do? And there's so many different systems to learn and understand, and there's so many different ways to play that game, and so many different roles you can be in. But again, that's a game that I played for a long time and I really enjoyed. But again, it had that complexity to it. But I wouldn't say that was an action game so much. I mean, yeah, you can have some pretty intense space battles, but it's not really the same thing. It's a lot of automated targeting and stuff like that. So it comes down to more of a designing your ship to be good against other types of ships, and then hoping that those are the types of ships that you wind up against, and hope that there's not someone out there you run into who's got a ship that's designed in a way that would be deadly to your ship. So it's a chess match, and that's why you get together in fleets and you try to cover all the possibilities, and it turns into some great battles. But I wouldn't call it an action game. I would just say it's a very complex game. And again, there you have that same feature, that complexity, and that's what attracts me to games, and that's what has attracted me to this game, is the wide variety of activities and play styles that you can employ in this game. So anyway, I feel like my only hope is GTA 6, but given Rockstar's performance of late, I'm loath to be too hopeful about that title. We'll see, though. We'll see. I guess if they can make it at least as good as this one, then it'll be worth playing, and it'll be new. At least it'll have that newness to it, that shiny new, That's always nice. My real fear with GTA 6 is that it's going to negatively impact this game. That it's going to come out, it's not going to be as good as this game, but at the same time, it's going to cause this game to stop getting good updates. Well, I mean, or how about just getting updates? We'll see, though. We'll see what happens. I think we're still a couple years off on GTA 6 anyways, so I don't see it coming out before 2024. So we have to at least get through the entire next year. Now, on the bright side, I was complaining about the nerfing of the VIP and MC business stuff that came with this DLC. On the bright side, the addition of the Acid Lab does help make up for that, though. I haven't yet figured out the timing on that one. Like, I know you have to spend, about $96,000 to get full product out of it. I know it's on double money this week too, so you'll spend $60,000 for one full bar of supplies, and then if you burn those supplies all the way out, and your bar of produced goods is not full yet, so you'll buy $60,000 in supplies again, and when you've filled up all your product, there'll still be about 2 bars of supplies left, and to fill what's empty is about $36,000. So by that math, it costs about $96,000 worth of supplies to get full bar of product. And full bar of product on double money is selling for like $670. So I'm guessing when double money is over, it'll be about $335. So let's just say you spend about $100,000 and then you sell it for about $330. So it's going to be about $230,000 profit for selling full bars. What I'm not sure about is how long it takes, because I actually haven't sat and timed it yet. I don't know exactly what the time. I'm sure somebody's probably mentioned that, like in a YouTube video. They've probably already explained it. I could probably go look it up. But it is a nice passive income. It's definitely worth doing. And the sell missions so far have been exceedingly easy. Excuse me one second. My music is sounding a little choppy to me. I'm going to kill Spotify and let me relaunch it. Good here. There we go. Much better. That was sounding really choppy. So I don't know like what the time frame is on that, so I can't really calculate the money per hour yet on it. But I do know that it's a great thing to have going on as passive in between stuff. So definitely worth doing. So that is a nice addition that came with this update. I know down the road there's supposed to be something with the taxi business, but that has not released yet. So I don't really know if that's going to be meaningful in any way for money. I'm guessing it's not going to be. I mean, how much money could the taxi business really be? Oh, I was saying about the cell missions. The cell missions for the Acid Lab are really pretty easy also. I haven't had any problems with them. I've only gotten 2 missions, though, so far. 2 different missions. Like, I've gotten the parking garage roof I've gotten, like, several times. And then I got one other one. I can't really remember what the details of that was, but it was equally easy. The funny thing about the parking lot one is, are you expected not to notice all the cop cars on the way up to the roof? Like I'm driving up to the roof of the parking structure, and I'm going by cop car after cop car after cop car. And they're the unmarked ones, but they're easy to spot because of the bumpers on the front and the lights and stuff. And they're sitting all through the parking lot on each level on the way up. And I'm thinking to myself, this is obviously a setup. This is obviously a trap. The minute I go to deliver this, these cops are all going to jump on me. And of course they do. But then they're easy to get away from. And then once you lose them, you can go to the backup location and drop it off there and get your full money. A little bit annoying, just like a lot of the new missions these days, Lester is disabled. So you have a wanted level and you cannot call Lester to get rid of it. And I don't know why they're getting rid of that. It's like, why did you even include it in the game if you're going to if you're going to disallow it for certain missions? At least this mission, it's a little more understandable because the cops are actually a major part of the mission. They're waiting to jump you at the drop and stuff. So I get it a little bit more for this one. But some of the other newer missions, like some of the other newer missions, like some of the nightclub popularity missions, you can't call Lester. Like the one with the paparazzi. You go to the apartment and you put a virus on his computer, and then you've got to go to where the paparazzi guy is, and you take him out and you grab his camera. But before you can take him out and grab his camera, you have to wait to lose the cops if you got spotted by the camera in the apartment, and you can't call Lester. To me, that's just stupid, because honestly, the cops are not a major part of that mission. They're not important to the mission at all. They're incidental at best. And the fact that you can't get rid of them with Lester and you have to sit and wait for them to lose interest in you is ridiculous to me. So yeah, it's just, it annoys me that they've disabled Lester for some of these missions. Glover, yeah, I just shoot the first car to bring him out and get the chase started. Yeah, I found that that's pretty much the best strategy too. I actually threw a sticky bomb at him, but yeah, same difference. Let's send this to Pavel. And guys, I am really sorry. Excuse me 1 second. I do need to really quickly, I never do this, but my work has texted me and asked me, are you on PTO tonight? And of course the answer is yes. So I need to make sure that they know that. So there we go. I'm done. I answered yes. Let me just put this back on my monitor here. And I am sorry about that. So, yeah, no, I do the same thing. I do start it with the cops first and just get it going and lose them. But I feel like disabling Lester is just kind of weak, what's the in-game logic there? You know, why is he suddenly, he can do it for everything else under the sun, but he suddenly can't do it for these newer missions? Oh well, it's not that hard to lose him either, but I feel like a lot of Rockstar's game design decisions of late are designed to maximize the amount of time you have to spend doing missions without adding much in the way of interesting gameplay or difficulty. It's not hard to wait for the cops to lose your wanted level. That's not difficult. It's just tedious, time consuming, and annoying. And I feel like that's the point. It's literally designed to be tedious and time consuming, and that's it. And that's bad game design in my mind. When you start doing stuff like that, purposely, slowing you down. Like how many of the missions involve just having to drive ridiculous distances in really crappy vehicles. I mean, come on, man, really? That's just Rockstar logic. Yeah, it is. It is. Someone last stream asked me what I think part 2 of this update is going to be. And I told him, given Rockstar's recent track record, I think part 2 of this DLC will be nerfing the acid lab. Because they're not going to like how much it makes for you or whatever. They're going to do something to make it worth less. That'll be part 2 of the Drug Wars DLC. We'll see, though. We'll see that. I'm not even sure when that's coming out. Someone was saying that somebody was saying that I'm gonna have to explain to my coworker later that I'm live streaming right now. He knows that I do it. Somebody was saying that there's actually not going to be like a major download part 2 of this update, that we're kind of not understanding what they mean when they say multi-part, that they're actually just referring to the drip feeds or something. Now, that seems weird to me, because the way it was explained, I was under the assumption that maybe next summer there's going to be Drug Wars part 2, and it's going to be something pretty major, was my thought. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I want to say it was maybe TGG that was saying that. And he's usually pretty spot on about stuff, so I don't know. Oh, maybe he's right. They're going to milk this DLC. Yeah, they milk everything, don't they? They're milking this game. They're milking the whole freaking game forever. I couldn't believe they came out with a monthly pay service 9 years, almost 8.5 years after the game came out. They finally introduced a pay service, and it's like, I think you're a little late on that, guys. And what's funny about that is I always thought that this game actually lent itself rather well to like an MMORPG, like monthly service type play. Like, World of Warcraft, you have an account, you have a subscription to play the game. And I always thought that they could definitely do that with this. But there'd have to be some serious changes to make that worthwhile. And number one, more than anything else, they need to host the damn game on their own servers. There we go. Got this guy kind of in close quarters there. Anyways, if they want to have a monthly subscription service associated with this game, that could be fine. That could be workable. But they need to offer way more. And like I say, first and foremost, server-hosted world, not peer-to-peer. Right now when you're in a game with other people in this game, one of the people playing, their console is the server for the world, the world that you're in, the lobby that you're in. That's what actually allows, the kind of cheating that we've seen over the years, that, the modding, the mod menus and stuff like that. It's because it's not hosted on their servers excuse me, I'm going to stroke here, that allows that to take place, that allows that to happen. And it's also one of the main reasons why there's so many limitations in the game. Like, you can only have 30 people in a lobby. In fact, back on PS3, it was only 16. You can only have, 10 CEOs and MCs, at a time or whatever in a lobby. You can only have, X number of people in this, X number of people that. You can only have certain number of activities running. A lot of these limitations in the game stem directly from the fact that your lobby is being hosted on a game console. And that game console, by the way, is also providing the gameplay to the person whose console it is. The only thing on Rockstar servers is your character information. Nothing more. What your character owns, what his RP is, what trophies you've unlocked, what achievements you've done, all the stuff that you can look at on your account. That's what's stored on the Rockstar servers, but the actual gameplay itself is not hosted on their servers. Never has been. And it's a terrible, terrible implementation. They could fix so many problems. And so if they wanted to turn it into a monthly service and they want to charge, I don't know, even $10 a month for it, $12 a month for it, whatever, I'd be down with that if they would turn it into a proper MMORPG game like World of Warcraft, where it's hosted on their servers, not our machines, and then get rid of all the ridiculous limitations. Imagine 100 people in the world with you, or 200 people. Actually, I don't know what this I don't know what the sweet spot is for this map. Like maybe 200 people might actually be unplayable, and not because of lag and stuff, but just because even if it ran smoothly, maybe that's just too many people to have in a map this size. I don't know. It seems like it would be, doesn't it? Like it would be too chaotic with 200 people fighting each other. But yeah, didn't know that. I thought they had servers. Yeah, well, I mean, they do have servers, like I said, but the only thing stored on Rockstar servers is your character info, the stuff that, your money, your RP, and all that stuff, your appearance and stuff. The actual game sessions are not hosted on their servers. It's hosted on consoles. So anyway, monthly service, MMORPG, this could definitely work in that kind of a setting, but they would need to change a lot of things about the way they do it and actually make it, a much more robust game at that point. And this GTA Plus service, I'm sorry. And I don't mean, by the way, if you have GTA Plus and it's worth it to you to pay for it, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I'm just, and I don't, if people like that and it's worth it to them, well then yeah, they should get it. For me, I don't think it's a great value for the money, even at $6 a month or whatever it is. I literally don't think it's worth it. There's not enough benefit to it. And the fact that they're doing more and more stuff that's like GTA Plus only, like the other month, or the other week, they did Panther statues, but only if you were a GTA Plus, member. That's crap, man. That's putting stuff behind a paywall that absolutely should not be behind a paywall, in my opinion. Yeah, no, Rockstar is incredibly stingy. Kind of puts it in perspective, though, doesn't it, Glover? Like, think of the amount of money that they've made on this game, and for relative lack of resources that they've needed to provide to support it, like compared to like a World of Warcraft or an EVE Online or something like that. Heck, even an Ultima Online, which is, 25 years old, and it's still running on servers, that they host. They've done it relatively cheaply, which means their profit margins were even huger. And I don't have any problem with them making money. The more money they make, the better games, theoretically, the better games they will develop for us. Unfortunately, they've kind of demonstrated that might not be true with them anymore these days. We'll see. Now, my hopes... they made a lot and they're still being cheap with it. Yeah, that's my point. Like, they're not trying to be the best that they could be. And like I say, they clearly angle game. They clearly do stuff to encourage shark card sales, but in cheap ways by making stuff. I don't know. By refusing to fix game-breaking bugs like the Titan glitch for CEO crates. That's been bugged. You can encounter a bug with that where you're trying to sell your crates. You get to the 4th drop, and it just bugs out. The mission bugs out, and you have no choice but to restart your session, and you're going to lose a few crates. And then hopefully you don't get that mission again, and hopefully it's not bugged out again if you do. That's been in the game for 7 years now. They haven't fixed it. But, if there's a glitch where you can make more money, boom, that gets fixed immediately as quickly as they possibly can. So, I mean, it also goes to show that they don't even prioritize fixing stuff that should be fixed if the result of that bug is just that you can't make as much money. And that, to me, that's just dirty pool in my mind. They shouldn't be doing stuff like that. So, all right, guys, let's take a pause here and look at this. What are the secondaries here? We got more brownie mix at the north dock over at the airfield. We got 1 brownie mix at the airfield and the rest is cash. I think I'm going to go to the north dock, and what I'll do is I'll grab the 2 brownie mixes and the cash. I will have to be careful, though. Actually, given the location of the brownie mix at the airport, what to do? I think I'll grab the top weed at the north dock, and then I'll jump back up to the airfield and grab the other one, because honestly, the amount of time it's going to take me to go around where the cocoa is to get to the second brownie mix at the main dock, I think it would be probably a similar time frame anyway. So, all right, that's what I'm going to do. You'll see what I mean when I get out there. So, just the Cayo guards, that was, yeah, that was a good example of they didn't like how much money people were making with Cayo. I'm actually, that's a weird thing too, man. When Cayo Perico first came out, and I got pretty good at it a couple months after. Right at first, it seemed kind of hard, but I want to say by about March of 2021, I started to get it down, how to do it quickly and stuff, and realized I was making more money than I ever had. I was sure that they were going to nerf it. I was like, there's no way they're going to let this stay like this. There's just no way. You can make so much money with Cayo. My gosh. I can do the whole thing start to finish in, under 50 minutes typically. And, I make like $1.5 million every time. It was ridiculous. And then the cooldown was only 10 minutes. And so I was so sure they were going to nerf it. I was positive they were. But then so much time went by. I mean, you went through all of 2021, and then, we're all the way into the summer of 2022. And then all of a sudden, this past summer in the summer update, all of a sudden they changed the cooldown to, what's it called? 2 hours, 24 minutes from 10 minutes. And that was so out of the blue and so unexpected. And it really changed the way you had to play the game if you were grinding like I was. It really slowed you down. There's no 2 ways around it. I got to be careful when I come over here. I don't want to be seen by that car. So I got to get off this road really quick. I kind of got to... Okay. I got to wait for that camera now. Oh, this sucks. My timing's a little off on this. Okay, he's out. I got to get this guy before he gets too close to the other door, and I should probably have my weapon out. All right. I hope he's not visible when the car comes through again. We'll find out because we'll suddenly get we will suddenly get an alarm that the dead body was found. So we'll know in a little while if he's in a spot where because while I'm going to the airfield right now, and while I'm at the airfield, that Jeep is going to drive through here again. And I'm not sure if that Jeep is going to spot his body where it's lying there. So we'll find out, though. We'll find out. If it is, then I will just have to restart, and then I'll have to be more careful the next time and make sure I get him while he's deeper in that building. He was kind of close to that door. So what'd you say by far the easiest heist and most profitable? Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, and you know the other thing they did with the summer DLC, not only did they, like crazy increase the cooldown from 10 minutes to, 2 hours and 24 minutes, but they also changed the likelihood of the primary target so that basically tequila is what you get like 90% of the time now, and pink diamond is really rare anymore. I used to get pink diamond at least like 30% of the time, 35% of the time. No more, man. You hardly ever see the pink diamond. All right, I got to come around the building and take this guy out. And he should be turning here in a moment. I wish he would, finish his turn. There he goes. Okay. Come behind him. Hey, there's no Jeep here. A lot of times there is. All right. All right, that should be the last person I need to kill until I'm done with the compound. So I'll grab this brownie mix and the cash here. Man, I'm wondering if we're going to suddenly have an alarm. I don't know about that guard back at the North Dock that I killed in that building. I think he might be too visible where he's lying. All right, so secondary targets kind of sucked for this one. But what does help, the one positive thing that they did with the summer DLC is, yeah, they changed the percentages of the primary target, but they also made it so that the less valuable primary targets made the secondary targets more valuable. So, like you see this 425,000 that I've got in my bag right now. Back in the day, even if you had 2 cocos, your bag filled with nothing but cocoa, the highest that could be was 450. So this is just a little bit less than what the full bag of cocoa was worth, and it's only brownie mix and cash. So that was one good thing that they did. And so even if you've got hard mode and you get tequila and you get a couple cocos, I mean, you can still top 1.5 million even with tequila. So it wasn't all bad. But the cooldown is the worst because you just can't do it over and over again. You had to find other things to do in between Cayos now. But I know I've admitted it in previous streams, and I'll go ahead and admit it here again. As much as I complain and bitch that I can't run Cayo over and over again, that I have to wait so long in between Cayos, I will admit that it caused me to vary my play style much more than I would have otherwise, and it caused me to be a little more interested in the game again. It made the game a little more interesting because I'm not just always looking to get into the next Cayo. I had to figure out, what's the best grind routine in between these Cayos now that there's such a massive cooldown. And that led me to do a lot of activities that I hadn't been doing previously. So, and there were some good additions too, like the ammunition sale and the mixed goods sale and stuff like that. That was good stuff to add in between. You know what I mean? And and most important of all, I'm leaving out the best part of that update, the CEO crate warehouse agents. That was absolutely the best thing they added with the summer DLC. The ability to quasi-passively stock your CEO crate warehouses. That's been very valuable. I've done more crate sales in the last, 5 months or whatever than I've done in the previous, 6-7 years since it, became part of the game. So definitely added some variety to the gameplay. I'll give it that. They were kind of right about that. Much as it pains me to admit it. So true. I definitely had to switch it up and get on. Yeah. And it pains me to admit it because I don't know if you remember their wording when they were describing their summer DLC. Their wording kind of triggered me. They said, we're looking to help our users, our players, better spend their time in the game. And I remember being so offended by that and thinking to myself, screw you, Rockstar. I don't need you to tell me how to play my game that I bought and I like to play. I don't need your input on that, man, So I was really offended by that whole idea that they're going to help me better spend my time in the game. And it was such a, just such a pompous thing to say. Really, really rubbed me the wrong way. Which makes it especially painful to admit now after the fact that they were kind of right. That I did find more enjoyment in the game than I had otherwise. I was not as bored with it as I was, prior to that update. So anyways, it's a mixed bag, isn't it? I don't like being told how to play my game, but at the same time, I have to admit they were right about it. So anyway, it is what it is. All right, so here's me being stupid at the top of the stairs. I probably should not be doing this with this guard here, but I've been doing it, and here we go. We get through, and we didn't set him off. So good. Whew. It's probably not the smartest way to go by him. So we've never gotten an alert from the guy at the North Dock, so I guess it was okay in the place where I left him lying. I wasn't sure, because he was pretty close to that door, and I know that Jeep's going to drive by eventually. But it must not have seen him, so. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, at least with easy mode, there's only 3 fingerprints here instead of 4. 1, 2. It's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. One more. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. All right, let's get this thing out of here. And for me, I find the hairiest part of doing this, like pacifist style on the compound, is after we get out of here. Trying to leave at the end here is, to me, it's kind of the hardest part now. Because I'm not coming out the gate. I'm coming out from the office upstairs, and there's a lot of stuff happening. Okay, so one more. Here we go. All right, so yeah, I got to really pay attention to the radar once I get back up here. We got the Juggernaut wandering around. Boy, remember back in the day, he used to be really easy to kill. You just pop him right in the head with one little shot and he was done. Oh, we're kind of like late. All right, I'm going to wait for this guy downstairs to turn. Oh, no, we're not late either. We're actually way, way early is what we are. Okay. Oof. I'm really glad that that guard there doesn't hear me breaking that flower pot as I go by. All right. So what I'm going to do... All right, yeah, here's what I was looking for in the radar. So the Juggernaut is going to turn around... and he's going to head back the other way. And now this guy in the alcove is going to turn and walk. He's going to walk right in front of me. And when he does, I'm going to run by him, right behind him, and try to get out of his sight before he turns here by going up these stairs. And that's usually good timing with these guys here. And it is, once again. There we go. We're out of here. So it's a little more hairy getting out of here than it used to be. Just because, you know, we couldn't lay waste to everybody. Normally all those guys except the Juggernaut would have been dead. And we would have been coming out the gate instead of out the office. I guess they helped me find a new way to play again. This part remains the same, though. So... I don't think that this Cayo is even going to pay a 1.5 million. It'll probably be like 1.4 million some. Ooh, it's the Loch Ness Monster thingy. Old friend of mine, according to, what's his name? Pavel. I've heard a rumor that when you get that message, somewhere around here, there's a sea monster you can go see. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think I've found any footage of it. And we're done, by the way. We can just stop now. As soon as the escape from Cayo disappears from the bottom, you're pretty much done. There we go. So, let's see what the total is. Let's see what the total is. I know we should have made Elite Challenge. I don't think, like, all the mucking around with the North Dock and the airfield, I don't think that delayed us too much. So we should be well under 15 minutes. We did the compound perfectly, so okay, at best it's going to be 1.36. Yeah, it's not even 1.4 million. Yep, 12 minutes. Nice. So 1.36. Like I said, definitely not a high-paying Cayo, but still, even this. I mean, you guys have watched me do the whole thing on stream now, and what did it take? At most an hour, and that's with me, like talking and doing other stuff in between. Especially early on, I went and did like the warehouses and stuff in between the longfin and then the plasma. So it's like, even with it being under 1.4 million, it's still the best money in the game by far. You know what I mean? There's just nothing else that earns this much money this quickly. Oh, hey, Plane, how you doing? Thank you for joining. So definitely still the way, you know, definitely you want to pattern your grinding around Cayo. And I'm going to change up my radar again. And I think I should have, at this point, I should have a bunker to sell, I would think. I tell you, man, the bunker, it seems, I mean, it's so solo friendly, and I've been doing it, you know, pretty much from the beginning. But I think we're getting to the point where the bunker almost feels like it's not worth doing. It's only 135,000 profit. I mean, you pay 75 for supplies and you sell it for 210, so you profit 135. But man, you get like the Merryweather mission, and it almost feels like it's not worth doing. You know what I mean? It's just there's so much more valuable stuff you can do to earn that amount of money in less time. But if you get the cool mission, that is, we're all business today, well, then it's totally worth it, you know. I'm great. How about you? Oh, I'm doing good, sir. Thank you. I ate too much for the holiday, though, so I'm going to have to go on a diet here heading into the new year, man. I need to drop some weight. Also going to get my Series S this week. Oh, nice. Nice. Congrats, man. Congrats. Have to get you in here on the expanded and enhanced version of the game and have some fun. All right. How many sales have I done out of here? I've done a ton. I'm coming up on 500 sales, and I've earned like almost 115 million out of the bunker here. Now, those earnings, it's kind of important to remember that It's not always the same amount of money. Sometimes this is on double money, and so instead of 210, I'm selling it for 420,000, which means I'm actually profiting like 300 some thousand per sale. So during those weeks, you know, the total earned went way up because of that. But right now, it's normal money at 210. All right, which one is it? Merryweather. I bet it's Merryweather. No, it's not. Sweet. Dune buggies. All right, let's see which one it is. Which dune buggy mission, I mean. Okay. All right, good enough. Good enough. This is a good one. I like this one. And yep. Okay. Let's get it. I love this mission. This is probably my favorite bunker cell mission. And I always talk about this when I get it on stream. You guys are probably tired of hearing it, but it used to be my least favorite. When I first started doing bunker sales, you know, whatever, 5 years ago, I used to fail this one constantly. It was such a pain. And because this vehicle is freaking horrible. It's one of the worst vehicles in the game. It's for being an off-road vehicle, it sucks off-road, man. It's like you're on ice almost, and the littlest thing will flip this thing over and get it stuck or whatever. And then on top of that, the drop points are like in really weird off-road locations. And then the enemies that come after you are like crazy accurate, and in fact, they're really hard. If you get stuck next to the enemies in this, you will melt in a matter of seconds, even if you have full health and armor. And then to top it all off, you only have 15 minutes, so the time frame is pretty short. But after I got used to it and got like better at it, it became kind of my favorite one. It's actually kind of fun. And my challenge is to finish it before I get the 5-minute warning from Agent 14. So when the timer on the lower right there, which is like just past the 13-minute mark and it's counting down, look how this thing, it loses control so easy. Of course, we're on snow, so it's even worse. But even if we were on pavement, that same spin probably would have happened. Anyways, so that timer is counting down. When it gets down to 5 minutes, which technically would be like the 10-minute mark of the mission since it started at 15. When you get down to 5 minutes, you'll get a text from Agent 14 saying, you need to get a move on. This is taking too long. My personal challenge whenever I do this is to have this done before you get that warning. So we'll see if we can do it this time. Usually I can manage it on this version of this mission, but not always. Not always. You know how things go. Things can go wrong sometimes. So we will see. See, these guys are just ridiculous, man. They're so accurate. It's sick. And like I was saying the other week, last week in stream, back in the day when it was really hard to get the dubs to twos, and that's by that I'm referring to like the gold and chrome ones that spawn. You know what? Oh, look at this. Right in my face. Look how quickly I'm melting. I got to get out of here. And the NPCs are going to... Oh, there we go. See what I'm saying, man? They melt you fast. All right, I got to stop being... I got to take care of these guys. Hold on. They can really make life miserable. You know, it'd probably help if I put some armor on. Probably help. Do it. Okay, there we go. Where are these guys? Oh, here they are. Kind of hard to see in this light too, and it doesn't help that I use the large radar. Sometimes that can really affect things, you know what I mean? Last guy is over here somewhere. Ah, there he is. Now I gotta get out of here fast before they come back, because the next set will spawn immediately. Come on. Could that guy get in there any slower? It took forever to get moving, didn't it? All right. At least we are moving. So let's get the heck out of here. So anyways, as I was saying, those black dubstas that they're driving, they're basically the equivalent of the black dubstas you can get with the MC business, like when you have like a road captain and they can spawn one. So you guys know there's the really rare dubsta 2s, which they spawn by LSCs around the map, and they're, they come in either gold or chrome, and you can tell them they're different than the other dubstas because the spare tire on the back is not centered. Instead, it's like off to the side a little bit. So that's another way to tell. But mostly you tell that when they spawn, when the special ones spawn that are like pre-modded, they're gold or they're chrome in color, and they're really cool looking. And they're also, they happen to be very difficult to spawn. And in fact, they were the hardest car in the game to spawn. Is he going to go straight? Good, he is. All right, cool. Now I can get away from him and get out of here. Not only are they really, really difficult to spawn, but if you do spawn one and steal one, it sells for more than any other car in the game that you can steal off the street and sell. It sells for like $24,000. So those are pretty sought after and pretty hard to get. What not a lot of people knew is that these black dubstas that are chasing you in this mission, you can kind of leave them in range and let them follow you closely and just, make sure they're still around. And after you finish this mission, you can steal it. You can steal the black dubsta. And then you can use it to spawn the gold or chrome ones. And that was a really cool thing because understand the only way to spawn the gold or chrome dubsta was... Really? This guy? Why wouldn't you just go straight, dude? Anyways, the only way to spawn one was to have one already. So if you were a solo player like myself and you didn't have one yet, and you didn't know anyone, or even if you're not a solo player, if you don't know anyone who has one, and or you don't know anyone who's willing to pull one out to help you spawn one, you literally couldn't get it. There was simply no way to get it. And then even when you had one, it was very difficult to get it to spawn. So anyways, these black dubstas coming after you, they were very useful for that if you're a solo player and you're trying to get one to spawn. Now, Rockstar has gone, and that's the way it's been, by the way, for years and years and years. Actually, I want to go up here. Well, what Rockstar has gone and done recently with this, recently in updates and drip feeds or whatever from the summer, is they made the Dubsta 2s available for sale in like the auto shops now. And so that's completely destroyed the uniqueness of them and the rareness of them and the difficulty of getting one. So it's just not as valuable anymore. And to me, that's just an example of them ruining, what was some of the cool parts of the game. That's all. I don't think it added much. You know what I mean? I think it hurt far more than it helped anything. Oh, hey, Zeffy. I ordered GTA for PS5. You can play when you start the new series. It's been only 28. Why 28? It only cost me 20. 21 with tax. But, well, whatever. I mean, it's not that much money. But yeah, sweet, dude. Sweet. That's awesome that you did that. The more important thing, good job. And yes, absolutely. We'll have to hook up in there. And oh, you bought physical media. Okay, yeah. See, I've my PS5 is digital only, so I was downloading it. That's what the difference was. But and for those who don't know, I got my PS. Well, I was talking about how much I hate God of War earlier, but so I got my PS5 for. Oh, by the way, hey, look, I did still beat the 5-minute warning. So I did still make my goal despite, getting killed by those guys a little bit ago. So, ooh, that was quite a spell adjustment there. Verisimilitude. Okay. I knew what you meant, though. I knew what you meant. For those who don't know, I know I said that I was not going to buy GTA 5 on my PS5 because I've bought it so many times over the years. I bought it PS3, I bought it for PS4, I bought it for PC, I bought it for Xbox One, and then I bought the expanded enhanced version for this for my Xbox Series X. So I've like bought the game for 5 different times for the same game. And so when I got the PS5, I went and looked at it, and it was like $40. And I just said, I am not buying this game for a 6th effing time, and certainly not for $40. Well, the other day, I guess, what was it, Zeffy? Was it Christmas Day when I texted you? Oh, all right, buddy. No problem, man. No problem. Have a good night, man, and get some sleep. Yep. Have a good day at work tomorrow. So it was Christmas Day. Okay. So Christmas Day, I noticed that GTA 5 was on sale for half off for my PS5. So it was only $20. And so I kind of, like, oh man, do I do it? Do I really buy it a 6th? And I just, as I'm debating whether I'm going to do it or not, I'm like clicking yes, buy. And so I bought it. And then I texted Zeffy after I bought it. I said, hey man, I bought GTA 5 for my PS5. His response back to me, Zeffy's response back was, you said you weren't going to do that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I said that. But for $20, man, I had to. So, my thoughts on something I could do with that, guys, is I could start an entirely, since when I started up this game, expanded and enhanced, I didn't want to transfer my Xbox One character into it because I played with the unprofessionals in the Xbox One version of the game. That's people you guys have seen in my streams back in the day, like Greeper and Carolina and Freean and those guys. So I wanted to still be able to play with those guys on Xbox One. So I didn't transfer that character into this, and I also didn't want to start a brand new character from scratch either. Not at that time, I didn't want to. So what I found was I actually had an old PS4 character that I hadn't played for a while available, and that's what I transferred into this game, and that's what I started the $1 billion grind with. Now, technically, this guy had $25 million when we started the grind. If you go back to the first stream back in March for $1 billion grind, you'll see all that explained. I transferred in a PS4 character. He's like level 195. He owns a lot of stuff already, including the Kasaka. So I had been running Cayo on him on PS4. But he only had like $25 million. He didn't have a lot of money. And so that's this character, the one that I've grinded up to $1 billion on. So where am I going with all this? So when I start playing on my PS5, I think my only choice will be to start with a brand new character. I'll have to start from zero. And that will give me the opportunity to maybe make some videos about starting totally from scratch with a brand new character, in today's GTA. What's the best way to get started? It definitely won't be a $1 billion grind. It'll be how to get to the point where you can earn enough money to buy whatever you want, just to the point where you're on your feet, and if you're willing to spend a little bit of time grinding, well, then you'll be able to earn enough to buy whatever, and that would be the point of that, and it would just be a kind of a walkthrough of the best way to start from absolute nothing. So anyway, so what Zeffy was saying was he got it too, so when we start the new series, he can be in those too. And that's always even better if you have someone to help you, someone to play with you too. You can do some stuff together that you couldn't do solo, and that can increase, getting yourself on your feet, increase the speed at which you get yourself on your feet versus doing it solo. The end of the day, though, as soon as you can get a Kasaka, your money problems are over. I mean, even with a 2.5 hour cooldown, you're going to earn more money than you ever could previously. So. Man, we are getting close on these warehouses. Sure. Basically, it'll be time to sell these within the next couple days. And actually, I sold my bunker. I might have Acid Lab product to sell too. I'll finish these agents, and then I will call for my Brigade or my Acid Lab, and we'll see if product is full yet. And if it is, that's like another 670 grand. Man, I'll tell you guys that I'm going to have to really temper myself through this coming week so that I can hit the billion on Friday on stream. Otherwise, I'd probably hit a billion like Wednesday or Thursday. And I could do a stream on another night, but, you know, this whole time, this whole series, I've been streaming Monday and Friday nights. So I don't want to like suddenly spring a different night on you guys like in the final week. That's just kind of dumb. I'm going to stick with the nights that I've always streamed on. So this week, this Friday night, we'll probably start around 9 p.m. at Eastern time, and it will be the hitting $1 billion stream. And then we can head into the new year as a billionaire. This chick cracks me up. All right, let me call for my Acid Lab here and see. You know, another thing I didn't like about this DLC was some of those story mode missions, those first trip or whatever they're called. It was absolutely like cut pastes of story mode missions from 9 years ago, like the acid trip one when Jimmy drugs Michael, the one where you're defending the roof of, you know, Chef's bar or whatever. So we're not totally full. We've got like just a tiny bit left, 662. Looks like there's like one more little bar to get. You know what I can do in the meantime? It's fine. Let me, I could do like a ammunition sale, and actually, you know what? I can just go do a payphone hit. I bet I could do, or I could do a security mission. There's so many options, isn't there? Like I said, man, I complain about the summer DLC and the way it took away my ability to run Cayo back-to-back, but it opened up a whole world of variety that I really hadn't been pursuing prior. So I want to say it was a net good, even if I kind of despise the control being dictated to by Rockstar about how I should play their game. That's really nothing new, though. Rockstar has been dictating the way we play this game from day one. For those of you who played it, like on the PS3 or Xbox 360, you ever heard of this show called Closet CEO? I don't get this one too often. For a while, I didn't get it at all. For months, I thought they took it out of the game, but then just with this new DLC, I started getting it again. So I feel like they put it back in. Anyway, for those who played the game, look, a bad accident. Okay, cool. This is like the easiest one there is. This is the propane tank. The only thing that sucks about it is you have to wait for him to walk up to it before you can do it, but that's all right. I know just where to go I know where to go wait for it. The easiest place. It's on one of these roofs here. It's such an easy shot. Right down here. So, I'll try again. For those who played this game from the beginning back in 2013 on PS3 and Xbox 360, and speaking of how Rockstar has always like dictated to us the way that we should play their game, the original way to really make money were contact missions. And of course, there were certain contact missions that were more valuable than others. And originally, by the way, contact missions paid a flat amount regardless of how long it took you to complete them. So the faster you could complete them, the more money you could make, which in my mind is correct. That's the way it should be. you should be able to earn more for being better at it. Well, what Rockstar found was that people would find the mission that they liked the most, and I want to say, was it Violent Duct or something? Was like the very, I know Rooftop Rumble eventually became the go-to, but I want to say right at first it was Violent Duct. What was the mission that people could finish literally in less than a minute the way it was, and they could earn a great amount of money for that 40 or 50 seconds spent in there. So, after you finish a contact mission or a race or, skydiving thing, whatever, they take you to that screen where you can pick. Like, you can either pick to go to free mode or you can pick to go to another mission or whatever. And in the lower left there's a replay button. Now, if you're doing races, you can use the replay button, but I'm sure you've noticed that if you're doing contact missions, the replay button is grayed out. It originally wasn't. Wait, he's right by the propane tank here. He's going to stop by it. Okay. There we go. Easy peasy. Originally, people would, play the contact mission they liked the most, like Violent Duct, and as soon as they'd finish it, they would hit replay, and they'd replay it again, and they'd just replay it over and over to grind up money really quickly to be able to buy stuff. Well, one of the first things Rockstar did within months of this coming out was they took away the replay button. They grayed it out for contact missions so that people couldn't do that. And my point in bringing this up is that, from the very beginning, they were dictating to us the way we should play the game. They didn't like that people were replaying contact missions over and over rapidly to get money. And then when that wasn't enough, when people were like, okay, fine, I'll sit through what are unquestionably the most ridiculous loading screens ever to get back into the mission again. The loading times are just sick. When people were still willing to sit through that and still run the missions over and over, the next thing they did was they changed the payout structure so that it would be dependent upon how long it took you to finish. And rather counterintuitively, man, I am never going to get used to that ray tracing. My reflection in the door just absolutely messes with me every time here. Anyways, they made it so that you got paid more the longer it took you to finish it, which is totally counterintuitive in my mind. Like I said, if you're better at it and you can finish it quickly, you should be able to earn more. That's like life. That's you know what I mean? But no. Now if you finish a contact mission too quickly, you only get paid a little tiny amount, and so you have to be in it. I think the sweet spot is like 4 minutes. So anyway, right from the very beginning, all the way back in 2013, 2014, they were very much, trying to control the way we played the game, and they didn't like it when we did things in a certain way. So none of this stuff that they do nowadays is, really anything all that new. My point in all this is just that they've always done it from day one. So this is the second easiest location to do this from. The easiest one being Cypress, right up the road. The only thing that sucks is sometimes I get the the version of this that's like the wanted level. You get a wanted level and you have to wait to lose the cops. And hey, big surprise, you cannot call Lester. Just as we talked about earlier. Hey, this guy is really going to run right in front of the truck. All right, we'll see if we get any enemies after us. I'm going to go through. Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. We're not going to get a wanted level. We have enemies. This kind of messes them up when you go through here, though. They're not sure how to navigate it. And then, of course, I'll pull out and I'll just go the wrong way down this road. Yeah, they don't stand any chance of catching me now. Not that they can do much anyways. They're not really that deadly of an enemy. Tell you what, the ammunition sale, the guys in the really fast Jeeps that come after you, those guys are insane. Those guys are just like the ones in the bunker sale. They'll melt you in a couple seconds, and their trucks are way faster than the truck that you're delivering. I think it's the the dune loader. I think that's the name of the truck that you get for the ammunition sale mission, and it's really slow and clunky. And they just they'll knock you right off the road because they're so much faster than you. You cannot get away from them. And then once they get, to be able to face you, they'll melt you in seconds. And you also, in the dune loader, you can't shoot backwards. But what I have found is you can use sticky bombs, and you can throw those backwards for whatever reason. So if you're doing that mission and you've got the guys who are really fast coming after you, pull out the sticky bombs and get them that way. It's the best way. Let's see if the acid lab has topped off yet. Because I've done a payphone hit and I've done a mixed goods sale, although admittedly neither one of those took that long. Yeah, but it's full. It is full. So see, to get a full bar of product takes 1 full bar of supplies plus 3 more, because you see there are 3 gone there in the supplies. So, and that was like the second fill up of supplies for this. So I think that's a total of about $96,000. Well, here we can buy product and whatever it takes to fill those 3 bars, add that to 60,000. So yeah, 36,000. So 60,000 plus 36,000. So it costs you $96,000 in product, in supplies to get a full bar of product. Now, obviously, the value is double money right now. So I guess it'll be worth about $335,200 when it's on normal money, I'm going to guess. Definitely worth it. So let's see if this is a sell mission I haven't seen yet, or if we're going to the roof of the parking garage again. Yep, top of the parking garage. Are there only 2 sell missions for this? It seems like it, because I've gotten this one more than any other. I've gotten this one like probably 4 or 5 times now, and I got the other one that I can't really totally remember the details of. I've got that one once. But those are the only 2 missions that I've seen for selling this so far. Most of the businesses have like, a good 5, 6 different kinds of sell missions. But we've been talking about how Rockstar has been phoning it in, so that might be just another example of this. I really should watch some guides on this business. I know Professional has an in-depth one, and TGG does too. I don't know if those guys have covered all the different sell missions yet, or if anyone has put out a definitive guide that shows that. Which garage are we going to? I think it's the one by ammunition, kind of by the sea. Oh, come on, really? Ooh, just missed that pole. That car threw me off a little bit. So yeah, I think this is going to be the garage that's kind of by the ammunition, by the movie studio, kind of. And I want to say... Oh, no, it's not either. No, it's not. It's going to be the one by the golf course. From story mode, this is the garage that Trevor goes in the helicopter with the cops and has like the thermal view thing. They're looking for that car, and the car ends up being parked in this garage. This is that location. Also, sometimes an exotic export car spawns on the top of this garage too. And if you do a lot of bunker sales, one of the drop spots for the Merryweather mission is sometimes right here too. Okay, so there's going to be like 10,000 cop cars that you'll notice on the way up here. And, like this one. Should I just sticky bomb this guy right now and get out of here? Because it's not going to end up being this location anyway. Wow, he didn't even react to that. There, we got one. Okay, cool. So we've already triggered the backup drop. So cool. We can just get out of here and go lose these guys. And I want to say the easiest way to do that is probably going to be to just head down to the subway, because you can't call lesser. Yes, I'm bitter about that. So let's just kind of sneak through here and hop down. Okay. Oof. Oh boy. Get out of my way, man. Do not shoot me. There we go. I got it. You know how many times I've ran from players this way? Just to get the heck out of Dodge? So many times. I am going to go to the next station, and I'll head back up that way. I want to say that one of the risks with this is that if they see you again, even after you've lost them, they will, like, re-aggro on you again. Maybe I can't get up here, can I? Let me see. Oh, yeah, I'll have to use the thing here. There we go. There we go. All right, so we already lost him. Woof. Oh, man. How did I not fall? Okay, now this may set this guy off. Okay, it didn't. Thank goodness. All right. Yeah, it did. Oh, no. There's a helicopter looking for me. Oh, my goodness. How is there still a helicopter looking for me when I don't have a wanted level anymore? I'll tell you how. It's called Rockstar Games glitching. So I need to stay away from that guy. Because if he sees me, I'll get a wanted level again. And I just drove by the cop's shop. That was maybe a little dumb. All right. Yeah, that helicopter, that police helicopter did not give up. At least I'm assuming that's a police helicopter. It was actually red. More like an enemy helicopter. I don't know. Is it maybe the guys who kind of like betrayed us on this sale? Is it maybe their helicopter that's kind of looking for you? I don't know. I don't want to find out. I just want to go make the sale. So we will head on down, because it is down here. I want to say it's a truck over here we have to drive into the back of. Yeah, yep, right here. Okay, that sound of that the sound of that ramp going down, I thought I got shot for a second. All right. Sounded like it. Okay, I guess I had to go up with a little more speed than that. And there we go. Oh, I got to get out of the area. That's fine. Call for my Mark II. And then we'll get out of here. So, you know, it's pretty easy money. It's definitely worth the time. It's good passive income that, you know, every couple hours or so you can go ahead and sell for like normally it'll be like 330 some thousand. Obviously it's on double money right now, but even 330,000 will be worth it. Shut up, Mutt. Even at 330,000, I mean, you buy the products for 96, so that's like a profit of 200 some thousand dollars, you know, per cycle on it. So it's definitely worth it. Definitely a good addition to the grind. Let's deposit this cash. Wow, my Spotify's goofing out again. Hold on a sec here. I'm gonna have to look into that. It's been doing that lately. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So, all right, let's go ahead and deposit this. And we're at 987 million. So Yeah, we've only got 13 million to go. It's going to be really, really easy to get there for Friday's stream. And like I said, between now and then, I'll probably have the 5 large warehouse sales, which will be like 7.5 million right there. That'll take us to like 994. I mean, at that point, if I did 1 Cayo a day and 1 nightclub sale a day, and plus, collecting the safes from the agency and the arcade and the nightclub, I'd be over $1 billion before Friday. So I'm going to have to actually temper it and be careful, because I definitely want to hit it, on stream. I think I want to cross. My microphone's not staying by me. I'll have to hold it here while I lean back. In fact, I'm going to change my screen here. I don't do this very often, but my face is not exactly pretty for screen. But I've got a face for radio and a voice for print, as Joker says. But just because I'm going to talk for a minute, I think you guys probably don't want to stare at the Maze Bank menu here. So what I was going to say is, I think what I'm going to do is I want Cayo Perico to be the job that puts us over the billion mark. And the reason for that is, I think if you go back to my original stream, the very first $1 billion grind one, I think we started off Cayo. And Cayo was absolutely the primary method by which we grinded all this money. So we've done Cayo, hundreds of times at this point? Like maybe like 300, 400 times probably. Maybe not that much, but certainly 200 plus times for sure. And so I think when we hit the billion on Friday, I would really like it to be a Cayo Perico that puts us over the top. So that's the way I'm going to try to structure it. I'll be careful through the week coming up not to overgrind. I actually thought, I could go ahead and go over and then just buy stuff to me, but no, I want crossing that threshold to be for real, like the first time on stream when I cross it. It's important to me. This has been a 9-month process, so I want to finish it up the right way. So anyways, guys, we're going to wrap this up for tonight. But if you guys are available Friday night and you want to hang out for when we hit the billion, definitely come by. It's, this Friday, December 30th. I'll be starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I'll schedule it on YouTube before I start it. So if you're subscribed and getting notification stuff, you'll definitely get the notification when it's going to be starting. But again, same as always, Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So guys, we're going to wrap it up there for tonight. Look forward to this Friday. It's going to be the final $1 billion stream. As always, thank you very much for watching, and have a great game.